I think that's a great idea.
See my screen okay?
Yep.
All right, good. Welcome, everyone, to Saturday morning training. I've got the line unmuted right now. I just wanted to hear real quick from Rick Panis. Rick is up in Rhode Island. Myself, Al, and Fred, and how many applications did you say you had this weekend?
I'm working on 7 applications this weekend.
Nice, nice. Us next week on the Rise and Shine. Enthusiasm is contagious, right? And I'm looking forward to hearing you you on our Rise and Shine call. Get fired up. I'm not delivering or 7 applications. I'll say that. It gets me fired up, and nothing more contagious than enthusiasm, right?
Absolutely.
But anyway, great to have you on this morning. Welcome, everyone.
You are now muted.
Background noise there a little bit. Mr. Carty, you can hear me okay?
I can hear you great, Bryan.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, we've got an exciting show for you here this morning. I'm going to run through some of the simple basics of the business, and we can never hear the basics often enough. Talking to Al this morning, talking about list building and preparing for today's call, and realized that I need to tune up my list and get working on that as well. Vince Lombardi, if you're not familiar with him, coached the Green Bay Packers, one of the most successful NFL franchises in history, and he would bring, of course, world champions and star athletes into training, football training, and the first day of training, he would stand up there and he would hold up a football and he would say, "Gentlemen, this is a football," meaning they would start with the basics over and over and over again. You would think that star athletes at that level, they're probably not training on the basics. Well, the absolute opposite is true. They're constantly drilling and training on the basics. And every time we do this, I always pick up something new. So let me jump right into it. Our business building system is proven, duplicatable. As you all have heard me say many, many times, the challenge for us is to not overthink it, is to do it and have success at it, and rinse and repeat. Today we're going to be talking about prospecting and list building. And our challenge to you is to develop a passion for our mission. And, realize, of course, that our leadership team is 100% committed to creating wealth for families. We're talking about your family as well. And that's a mission that you can get behind. That's a mission that motivates. And we believe that there's a tremendous need out there for an education. Most people are in the wrong place, the wrong products, doing the wrong things, and we can very quickly and simply put them on the right track with the right products and the right concepts. Creating I'm not even just talking about the business income, but with our concepts and our products, and what a tremendous impact we can have on their lives. Life-changing stuff, right? And your success is really going to depend upon your passion for our mission. I know that I looked before, Jeff Manns was on the line, and recently some personal things in his life in the last month or so have changed his outlook and perspective on passion for the mission. It's not about selling a product. I guess you could look at it that way, but it's more about changing lives. And how effectively you communicate that, your passion, your enthusiasm for what it is that we're doing makes all the difference in the world, right? Why is it that, we could all have the same tools and technology and websites and videos and all that, and some have tremendous success and some don't? Well, first of all, the ones that are taking action, that are passionate about who we are and what we're doing, and do it. Actually, step up and do it. I want to talk about posture and position. Your attitude really determines your posture and your position. And I believe that's an edge that comes from your belief. I've seen in the last month or so a tremendous change in Jeff Manz's attitude, his edge, if you will, where he's not going out there any longer and trying to sell product. He's going out there to change people's lives and make sure they have the proper protection, etc. And once you really know what we can do and do it for you, your family, become a crusader with a demonstrator, your attitude really determines your altitude, how high you're going to fly in our business. So the posture and position that I have comes from 100% belief, 100% confidence in what we do, and what we're doing is the right thing. So let's begin there. Work on your attitude, your belief on a regular basis. And by the way, if you don't have 100% belief, I can let you borrow some. I have extra. And as you're going through the process, rely on your vice presidents, your leadership team to borrow maybe some of their belief as you're going through this stuff. Okay, let's run a diagnostic on your business. I would say everyone on this call has not hit the success levels that they're looking for, they want, they desire, and it's quite simple for us to, the picture of the diagram there shows a car, right? When you take your car into the dealer and you want to know what's going on with it, they run diagnostic tests. Well, with our system, we can run a diagnostic test on your business. And it all begins with your list. It all begins with your inventory. We were going to open up a store, you had no inventory. I mean, how could you possibly, if you open up a shoe store and you had 2 pairs of shoes, it's just not going to work, right? We want that list to be ever evolving, ever growing, and of course we have to begin with a top 3, a top 25, a top 100, etc. Okay? And the next step, of course, is show me your appointments. How many people are you presenting the business to? How many people are you getting in front of the business and the opportunity? And then once we've done that, I'll be able to show you what your results are. And if you're not getting people in front of the message, are you in front of your computer, etc., I don't see how things aren't going to change unless you change that. But it all begins with the list. So how do we build a list, and how do we help people build lists? Well, I'll tell you one thing that you certainly don't do is you don't call up your team and say, okay, go build your list and come back. That usually doesn't work. Why? Because they don't do it. You only have the right to expect what you inspect. Help them put it together. Work with them on it. We have great tools today with social media, Facebook. Someone says, well, I really can't think of anybody, or I don't have a list, and you go to their Facebook friends and you see they've got, 1,800 friends. Are you kidding me? You couldn't put together a list? Of course you can. Let's go through it and let's start changing people's lives that we're out there talking to, right? So as a builder, a contractor, if you were going to be building an empire, you'd have to start with a very large supply of raw materials. Same thing here. You want a prospect pool so big that you can't possibly talk to everybody. That's the goal, right? That also increases your posture and your position. You got 3 names on your list, and your posture and position is very, very weak, because if all 3 people say no, or they're not interested, or whatever, you're kind of out of business, right? But if you had thousands and thousands of names on a list, you don't take it as hard when someone says no, or not now, or down the road, or whatever, right? So the focus should be building your list, building it big. You can develop your list by your natural market, friendship farming, and friendship borrowing. A lot of people are resistant to talk to friends, family, neighbors, co-workers, social contacts. I understand that. You don't have to do that. Match up with your VP, match up with your upline, your trainer, and do it together. a lot of times what we bring to the table is our relationship, which is good, right? Because that's the trust factor. The VP, the trainer, your upline brings the credibility to the business, and the two together work really well. The second thing is the trainer doesn't have the emotional baggage attached to your relationship. Whether it's someone at the top of your chicken list or a subordinate or what, we don't. The trainer is not into that whole emotional attachment to the list. So, working together in teams is way more successful. Friendship farming, how do you turn strangers into friends? Well, I don't really look at anyone out there. My personal view is there's no really such thing as strangers. Most are just friends I haven't really met yet. And we'll talk a couple of techniques on how to break the ice and how to become a more attractive person in building your list. Now, when we say building your list and friendship farming and contacting and inviting, we're not saying, go run out to the grocery store and try to recruit people as they come out of the grocery store. I mean, that would be a disaster, right? We're saying start a friendship farm, start planting seeds, developing relationships in addition to your natural market as you go. And then, of course, friendship borrowing is what we just talked about, where you're the trust, your trainer is the credibility for the business. It's a top priority. If you don't have a list, if you don't have a huge list, if you don't have it organized in front of you and working on it, start right away. As soon as we get off this call today, start putting together and organizing your list. Really look at this as an exciting business adventure. Some folks look at building the list as a chore. I think of some of the giants and the superstars that are in this business. They all started out on somebody's list, right? And you think to yourself, boy, I wish I could recruit a Ron Blumenkamp or a Jeff Wardell, an Al Carty, a Rick Panis. Well, how do you do that? Well, it had to start somewhere, right? Someone had to put their name on a list and pick up the phone and introduce them to our message, right? And from that list, you're going to build your business. And think about it as transforming the lives of the people that are on it through our products, our concepts, and also our business and our opportunity. Now, of course, not everybody is going to do it, and we know that, but at least you made your attempt. Your conscience is clear. By the way, if I knew Rick Panis and I didn't call him and I ran into him at a big meeting somewhere and he's having great success, boy, that really just, that burns my butt, right? You don't want to have someone that could have been on your team not on your team because you failed to contact them. That would be a tragedy, right? So this is kind of what it looks like. I recommend taking the extra time and effort to put it into an Excel spreadsheet. I mean, you can do your list however you want, Outlook, Contact Managers, CRMs, just a notebook and start writing down names and numbers. But this is the best, and here's why. This now you can work it back and forth with your trainer, your VP, your upline, your accountability partner, and work it back and forth so you guys can both be on the same sheet of music. And once it's been done, you don't have to go backwards. Keep going back and forth and redoing the same work twice, right? Just needs to be done once. If you haven't seen the memory jogger, again, this is kind of basics, 101 list building, but really powerful stuff. This is exactly what I'm going to do as soon as I get off the phone. I'm going to build my list, continue to keep working on my list, hundreds, thousands of names. And here's the idea with the memory jogger. It's kind of hard to read this list, but, this is the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, who's your next-door neighbor, who do you go to church with, who do you play golf with, etc. Here's the challenge. Put one name next to each person on that list. There's 300 to 500 names that will come out of that right there. If you can put one person next to that, one name next to each one of those memory joggers. If you do it with your partner, your spouse, that could be 600 to 1,000 names right there. Don't worry about their contact info to begin with. What you're trying to do is make a list as big as possible, not an elimination list. You want to be adding names to your list. You don't want to be eliminating. Don't judge people whether they're too successful, not successful, whatever it is. The Marine Corps motto is, shoot them all and let God sort them out. I believe we should recruit them all and let God sort them out. Some of the biggest, most successful superstars in this business and industry, they didn't start out that way. They were on somebody's list, and over time they developed into superstars. Make your list with others. Make it fun. Do it with family members. Do it with your spouse, etc. You're going to find that your spouse will think of people that you forgot. And by the way, it's not just the folks that end up on your team or that you talk to or become clients, etc. It's the referrals that they have and the people that they bring into the business as well. You just never know where that's going to lead you to. Okay? And again, don't make it an elimination list. That's a major, major mistake. You just never know who, when, where the timing is going to be right, and you find your next superstar. We want to identify the top 25 and get on it right away, immediately in the business. Ready or not, begin at once. Okay, let's talk about the chicken list. We want to recruit up. We want to recruit down. We want to recruit sideways. We want to recruit in all directions. But here's a caveat. Beware of this. A lot of folks will not talk to people that they feel are more successful than them. So-and-so's career is, you just never know what is going on with them. And here's what I would say is, leave no stone unturned. And the more successful someone is, in my experience, the more encouraging they will be about you starting your business. Now, that doesn't mean necessarily that they're going to join you or whatever, but they might be a great referral source. They might be a great client source, and you never know when situations or circumstances may change down the road, right? We certainly will miss 100% of the shots that we don't take. And again, match up with a trainer, match up with a VP, master the three-way calls. I can't even tell you how many people I talk to on a regular basis on our team that don't know how to do a three-way call. Well, good news is I do, but they need to learn how to do that so that it becomes practice it. Practice it with a friend. Practice it with your trainer. This way, when the first time or first few times you do it, it's not cold. Now, the reason why, I can do it for them, but what happens is my telephone number shows up on their phone. They don't recognize it. What a lot of people today do is they let it go to voicemail. If instead you're initiating the three-way call, your name and your number shows up on the call, much more likely for them to pick it up on the call, right? Does that make sense? In friendship farming, again, I don't think that anyone should ever go out prospecting, right? You don't just get in your car and go prospecting. But instead, throughout the course of your normal day, your normal activity, your normal routine, prospect as you go. And how do you do that? Well, you turn strangers into friends. And how do you cultivate a new, more market by meeting new people? Well, you just start conversations where they are. You keep the conversation off the business. You get to know folks for who they are and what they and find a way. If the conversation goes very positive, they're nice, warm, friendly folks. Find a way to be able to open the door for future conversations, right? So how do you break the ice in a social situation, whether it's a family gathering, party, PTA meeting, whatever it is, networking event? A great way to break the ice is to talk about them. Most people's favorite subject is them. Their favorite radio station is WIFM, right? What's in it for me? They want to talk about themselves. So keep the focus of the conversation about them. And the best way to do that is by asking questions. The person asking the questions is the one that's in control of the conversation. Now, I'm not saying this in a way to lead you to believe that we're manipulating people. We're not. We just want to get to know a little bit about them and who they are, right? And form the basis of a friendship or relationship in the future. So here's a great acronym. I learned this years ago, and I use it all the time. Family, occupation, recreation, message. I have about a dozen quick questions that I run through that opened up the conversation and get people talking, right? They want to talk about their favorite subjects. Most people, their favorite subjects is their family. I know that if I wanted to start a conversation with Al Cardi, I start talking about his family, his children, and what they're doing. Boy, we could. There's no lack of stuff to talk about there, right? So you might ask them, you have kids. How old are they? Oh, really? Are you originally from here? Did you grow up in this town? Oh, no kidding. Occupation stands for, O stands for occupation. So what do you do for a living? What do you like about that? What do you enjoy about really, what's the, I bet you've been doing XYZ for the last 30 years. I bet you probably have some funny stories over the years. What's the funniest thing that ever happened to you being a toll booth attendant? I don't know, right? And recreation stands for recreation. A lot of times that's sports-related stuff. You like to play golf. Did you watch the Miami Heat game the other night? Stuff like that, right? And then M stands for our message and who we are and what we do. So practice that a little bit and resist the temptation to jump all over them at that point. Remember, we're talking about strangers here, right? Resist the temptation to jump all over them about our business and our opportunity. Add them to the list. Get with your trainer, and you and your trainer can follow up with that person down the road, okay? So the key to success, what most people are missing is a number of qualified people to get in front of on a regular and consistent basis and show them our opportunity. You've probably heard before, it's a numbers game. The law of large numbers meets the law of averages. It's very, very true. And, I know that someone who does many more contacts and gets many more, they might not be as talented as me or whatever, but if they get more people in front of the opportunity, they will always, always win. So the key to success, build a big list, then learn how to get them in front of the business and the opportunity on a favorable basis. All roads will lead to your list. What do I mean by that? You may have heard, all roads lead to Rome. Well, here's the idea. In your sales practices, you get referrals and names to add to your list from people who buy, people who don't buy, people who join, people who don't join, while you're out there friendship farming in a networking situation, asking friends and family for names to add to your list, etc. And if you looked at it in a graph, that's what it looks like. So that list should be ever growing constantly. So that, it might sound, 1,000 names on a list might sound like a big challenge, but it's really not. With consistent effort and building that on a daily basis, you'll be amazed at how that list will grow. Okay? So we want to get names from people who buy, don't buy, people who become clients, people who don't become clients, etc. And this is something that I've used in the past and works real well. No matter what they do, or they say, well, I want to keep my focus on my toll booth attending job or whatever, and they reject the business or reject the opportunity. May I ask you a quick question before we get off the phone? I found my best new associates come through referrals from quality people just like yourself. Who do you know that might be interested in a new business venture or a possible career change? Master that. Learn that. Get that down so that it comes out naturally when you're talking to folks. Hey, by the way, well, I appreciate that, taking the time to take a look at this. But before we get off the phone, I found my best new associates come from referrals from quality people just like you. Who do you know that might be interested in a new business venture or a possible career change? And then be quiet. Let them think. They might say, well, I really can't think of anybody. Oh, okay. Well, if you do, I would appreciate it if you would let me know. Thanks again. You know, again, you never know what they're going to say when you ask, right? We're going to miss 100% of the shots that we don't take. Okay. Here's another one. I appreciate meeting with you today. As you can tell, our concepts make a huge difference in someone's life. I work strictly on referrals. Would you be kind enough to introduce me to a few people who might benefit from our concepts? And then you're quiet. That's another way to build your list. You're getting referrals from people who buy, don't buy, join, don't join, etc. The list grows. You know, in recruiting, every person that you bring on the team must get a minimum top 25. We're shooting for a top 100, and then, of course, building it from there. If you got 3 to 5 referrals on each sale, you know, Rick had 7, 9 sales here recently. You know, you will never run out of people to talk to by focusing on your list. Again, you're increasing your posture, your position, and so on. Whether you're networking online, networking offline, we've got a lot of ideas for that. But, you know, generally speaking, with your natural market, that should be enough. But, you always want to be adding to it, right? And, of course, throughout the normal course of your day. Well, that's what I wanted to cover this morning. I've been talking with Al as well. I want to jump into this next topic with Al and turn it over to him. Before I do, though, here's your marching orders. When this call is over, get on your list. Start putting it together, build it, be accountable to someone, start working with someone and building that list. Yesterday, Al and I were talking, and we were talking about marketing and marketing ideas and methods and so on. And we had seen this marketing program look really sophisticated and all that other stuff. And Al just turned around to me and he said, you want to hear my marketing approach? Pick up the phone. I said, well, we could have just saved folks thousands of dollars from buying that marketing system and all that other stuff if they would just pick up the phone, right? So, Mr. Al Cardi, are you there, buddy?
I am, buddy.
Hey, well, we're about to go to the Al Cardi School of Marketing here. Hold on to your hat. Let me turn it over to you, Al. You want me to switch the computer?
There you go. Can you see my screen?
I think so. It says... There we go.
Okay, perfect. All right, well, before I switch gears to the website.
Hey, Al, you have to hit share my screen.
Okay, sorry about that. You're right. All right, there we go. All right, before I switch gears here to the website, Bryan and I obviously have a ton of conversation, and I got to tell you, Bryan, that was a great presentation this morning because it really hits all the points, and sometimes the message is in the duplication or the repetitiveness of a presentation. And here's some notes that I wrote down as you were talking this morning, and that is the first one, and probably the most important one in the whole conversation, which is going to lead to everything else, is the crusade, is your passion and belief for our product. See, we say this, and it's not a cliche, it's not a sales pitch, it's real. And here's the thing. If you have looked at our product, then you understand it. But if you own the product, you believe it, because then you completely understand the message of living benefits, tax-free income. It's no different than the debt program, If you understand it, you can talk about it. But if you own it, now you believe it. And you run scenarios for yourself, and all of a sudden it has a whole new meaning behind the debt elimination program. But that's not going to happen for you until you own it, put your numbers in, because now it becomes vividly real right in front of you. Okay? So that's the first thing. The second thing is with passion or belief in what you're doing, and truly believe it. And again, this is not a cliche. It's real stuff here. What comes from belief is confidence, okay? And giving you the confidence that you know this is right for people because it's right for you. So therefore, if it's right for you, there's other people who are going to think like you. The confidence leads to making money. So real simply, when you believe, not understand, when you believe, right? What's believing? You own the product and the services for your own family, for your own life. That leads to confidence. That leads to making money, because with confidence you can share it with other people. Just two more things I want to wrap it up with on that note, and then I'm going to go into the website. Let me ask you a question. If I said to everybody on this call, look, from now to the end of July 31st, okay, so there's a finite time, which is about 6 weeks. Every phone call you make, every call, you're going to get paid $2,000 for every call you make and talk to somebody and say you're in front of your computer. If you were going to get $2,000 for every one, but the cutoff was July 31st, how many calls would you make? Would you make 1, 2, 8? I would suspect, if you really believe that, right, you were going to get $2,000 for every call, you would call as many people as you could. You probably would sleep less. You'd probably eat less. You would probably sport less. You would probably work 7 days a week as much as you physically possibly could from now till July 31st, and then take the rest of your life off, right? Because you're getting $2,000 for every call. Well, understand, I know nobody's going to do that, and I think you all know where I'm going with this here, is why not? Because let me tell you something, that's what's going to happen, because you got to realize that every person you call and say in front of your computer, a percentage, and that's going to vary based on the people you're talking to, but a large percentage of those people are going to want to hear more about what you do. And they're going to want to hear more about the services, and those are going to become associates, and those are going to become clients. And you potentially could take the rest of your life off if you actually just did that. If you get up from the minute you get up in the morning and you just make calls all day, try to imagine what the result of that would be. Because here's what I know for sure, because I know our business, is that it's not whether or not everybody on this call is capable of building a successful organization and making a seven-figure income. It's your ability to apply some simple disciplines into your business every day. And just by mere fact of you presenting this to people, it's all about showing people what we do. And the lack of result or the significant result is the difference of who is showing it and who is not. Rick Tanis, as an example, has 7 applications he's doing this weekend, because I can tell you, because Rick and I work together up here in the Northeast, Rick is showing people the program every day, 2, 3, and 4 times a day. He's on the phone. And when that happens, results happen. So it's not because Rick is just better at it than everybody else, or better at it than me or you, or it's just that he is showing people the presentation. Now, we have a very effective way to show people the presentation, right? We have Tuesday night and Thursday night calls at 9 p.m. We also have live meetings going on all, in different parts. There's another one. There's another Show Me the Money with Ron Petrinovich Monday night at 9 p.m. So we have plenty of opportunity to show people on a live or online live meeting type thing. But we also have the ability to bring people to the information. Bryan and I kind of put our heads together over the last few weeks, and we put together this site that you should be seeing on the screen right now. And let me preface it by saying this site is not about Al, it's not about Bryan, it's about our team. It's about the ability for people to get the information to somebody 24/7. We try to keep this very, very simple, very basic. with the understanding that you can bring people that can hear about our company, hear about our programs, okay? So just going through here, Help America with Power with Dignity. I think you can see little dialogue here on the left. On the right, you've got Ron Blumenkemper. This is a 26-second video, which I think is very, very powerful, from the chairman of Freedom Equity Group. If you've never met Ron, you don't know his passion. But if you met Ron or heard Ron or been in his company, you'd understand how passionate he is about the crusade and what we're doing here for people. So this is something that you can lead them to. It's 26 seconds. So it's really easy to call somebody up and say, hey, Bryan, how's things? How's Ellen? How's the dogs doing? How's Ellen's business going on with the restaurants, blah, blah, blah. Hey, Bryan, the reason why I called is I saw some compelling information that I need to share with you. Bryan, are you in front of your computer? Those are the 7 magic words. Now, see, the reason why I can say it that way is because I am a client. I am passionate. I do believe the information is compelling. I do believe Bryan needs to see it. Why? Because he's my friend. So I need to show it to him. Are you in front of your computer? Yes, okay. Go to, if you would, freedombuilderinfo.com. And he's going to go to this site right here, as you can see, okay? He's going to get to this front page. Okay, Al, I'm there. Great. Hey, listen, right on the front there is a very, very short video I need you to watch, okay? And go ahead and click play. And he's going to hear Ron Blumenkemper for 26 seconds. Then I'm going to say, okay, Bryan, great. Listen, here's what I really wanted you to see. I just wanted you to hear from the chairman of our company, and I'm going to take him to the services page. On the services page, we've got 3 videos here. We've got one specifically on the debt elimination, one specifically on IUL, the tax-free plan, and here's the FEG system. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to say, Bryan, listen, now you know the FEG system encompasses both of the others. The other 2 are just specific to debt and the IUL, whereas the FEG system is our 30-minute join me presentation or meeting burner presentation. So what I'm going to do is say, Bryan, listen, on the right there, you're going to see FEG system. Listen, here's what I need you to do, and it's important. Hit play. And when you hit that play button, I say, Bryan, listen, watch that video and give me a call after you're done. He's going to say, okay, great. I'll talk to you later. Bye. And we get off the phone, okay? So I just took Bryan to the presentation. I'm not making the presentation. I don't have to. I don't have to be the message. And by the way, I can make the presentation, and I think, those of you on this call know that. And I know most of the people, unless you're really new with us, all of you on this call can make the presentation. But wouldn't you agree that's a more efficient use of your time? That if you just would bring people to the information, let them see it, do that 3, 4, 5 times a day. I always say at least 3, right? But every day. Do that 3 to 5 times a day. That's 3 to 5 times per day that somebody is hearing what we do without you having to present it. Think of the magic of that, okay? And then from there, it's just follow-up, right? Whether they watch it or not, well, you don't know that, right? I know it's because you're leading them there. Now, you know they clicked on it because you heard the video play. And when you hear the video play, when you hear the music play, right, that's when you say, give me a call later. And now, of course, if they don't call you, you're following up. Now, the other things that are on this site, if you go here to what we do, there's a few short, the one on the left here, this is a short testimonial that I had done when I had a videographer in our office videoing. I thought it came out pretty well. In fact, FEG is putting it up on the replicated site. I thought I'd share it. It's like a minute and a half. More importantly, you've got Ron Petrinovich here, the president of FEG. So we had Ron Blumenkemper on the front. You got Ron Petrinovich in here. And then you've got the Ed Slot video. And if you haven't seen that yet, he's a tax advisor. He talks about the benefits of maximizing contributions to certain types of permanent life insurance. I think you all know where that goes for us, okay? Now, you don't have to take them here. You're just going to go right to here, right? You're in front of your computer, Bryan? Yeah, great. Here's what I need you to do. Watch that short video. You watch his Blumenkemper. Then I'm going to take him to services. and I'm going to have him click on this video right here. Once I hear the video playing, I'm going to say, Bryan, give me a call later. Done. But he is now on our site. So he is going to click around later because most people are inquisitive and they do like to do things online. So he's going to go to what we do. He's going to click here and he's going to maybe watch another video. He's going to watch Ron Petrambich. He'll go to the About Us page. Now, Team Login, you'll notice when he goes here, well, I'm already logged in because I had already logged in. But this would not have, this would say put in a password right in the center of the screen. So that's going to be intriguing. Hey, what's that team login? Well, once you're a member of our team, this is in the follow-up, right, because it wouldn't be happening on the first call. Once you're a member of our team, we have some specific things that we want you to watch. Now, for those of you that are on this call, I want you to understand what we're trying to do here. And, of course, we always welcome suggestions. If you want to email that to us, that'd be great. Here's what we got. Right now, we've got 2 videos in here. The third one is not done yet, okay? But the first one, Bryan does a 15-minute type presentation on how to get started in our business and the benefit of the Sprint Award and what you need to do to get started, okay? Because here's what our business comes down to. It comes down to you do the right thing first, and that is Sprint, right? Put your list together, get your spouse involved to whatever level he or she wants to be involved, pre-register for your licensing, introduce the business to one or more people, and, of course, do your plan. What did we just do for the person, right? We solved a couple of things. We solved the understanding of our business. We solved the belief of our business because they're becoming a client, right? It's important. We've started their list. And here's how you start. Bryan went over doing the list. I'm not going to talk about that. But if I was sitting down in front of that person and they've got a list of 25 people, guess what I would do? I'd say, who's this guy here? Well, this is Bryan. Who is he? Well, that's my good friend. Tell me about it. Well, he's an entrepreneur, go-getter, blah, 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 good leader. Great. Let's call him. And we get on the phone. I'd say, hey, Bryan, I'm sitting here with Joe. And, Joe was just telling me about you. We're thinking about people that, should take a look at something that we're doing here. And your name come up. I hope you don't mind. I asked if I could give you a call. Bryan, and he's, of course, going to say, oh, yeah, great, good, yeah, Joe's a good friend. Hey, Bryan, listen, would you be in front of your computer right now? Well, yeah, as a matter of fact, I am. Great. Could you go to freedombuilderinfo.com? Okay, yeah, all right, I'm there. Yeah, I see it. Could you click on that short video right there? This is the chairman of our company, something that we're doing here, but I just want you to hear from him. And after that, I'm going to take him to the services tab and say, hey, Bryan, listen, this is some compelling information you need to hear about. Obviously, Joe wanted to share this with you. If you would, watch that video. It says FEG system. As soon as I hear play, Bryan, listen, give Joe or myself a call after you've had a chance to watch it. Boom, hang up the phone, call somebody else. So this is really as simple as it gets. Now, once we follow up with them, we bring them into the system. Here's what we want to do. We want to take them through step 1, the Sprint Award. That's the whole, right? I kind of went over that. That's the whole belief system, getting them started the right way, also gives them a bump in promotion. And what do I do next? Well, you want to master the invitation. I did a short video on what I just did here about how to take people to the Freedom Builder. It's a video. You can watch that. We need to get people to master the invitation. After they've built their list, they don't need to learn how to write an IUL, how to learn software. They need to learn how to be a master inviter, how to get people in front of the information by being the messenger, not the message. That video hopefully will give that to them. And then the third video is going to be more of the big picture here of becoming a VP, doing that in the first 60 days, what it's going to mean to them, and we haven't quite finished that yet. But long range, here's what this site is going to become. This site is going to become your site. This site is going to become a leader site. It's going to be people that are blowing and going, people that are really doing it out there. We're going to have your picture up here, a testimony from you. we're going to really make this up. See, what we already know, and we want to communicate this to the world, is that we have a support system that's besides just go do something. We support with training, we support with example and leadership, and we're going to display who those people are here on our site. So this is going to become a team communication site, a team leadership site within our organization as part of FEG. It is not to design another company. It is not to segue or separate in any way, shape, or form. It's really more of a team site. I know that Freedom Equity Group is going to be building, and they're going to be out shortly, replicated sites. Some of this will be duplicated. We will eliminate the duplication and put other stuff up there. We just want to get people into a habit of going to the site, and through that team login, there will be multiple trainings that we will post up here for people that are members of our team. They'll be able to go back there and watch different things that perhaps we're doing, like this training right now, that would not be on the FEG site. This training would be available to our teammates in the back office, okay? So that's the concept here. But here's what it all boils down to. It's funny because, when Bryan says, the Al Carty, marketing presentation, which would take about 30 seconds, right? And here's what it was. We were looking at, he sent something over to me. He says, hey, what do you think about this here? And I was going through it, and it was a video about recruiting, marketing. And here's the bottom line, okay? We have plenty of information, but it doesn't make a difference if you have all the goodies and all the knowledge, but you don't tell anybody. So the bottom line, right, folks, is that we need to get the message. Doesn't have to be you, but we need to get the message in front of people. So at the end of the day, it's about picking up the phone. It's not about sending an email. It's not about texting the world. It's not about Facebook messaging and putting up ads on Facebook. Now, you can do some of that, of course, but it really boils down to picking up the phone and saying, hey, Bryan, how's things? Great. How's your wife? Good. Hey, listen, are you in front of your computer? I got to show you something. That's really what it comes down to, right? So the quicker we get to that point, because it is a communication type business. Now, a lot of it can be done online. In fact, probably 95% of it. But the 5% that's required is dialogue and conversation. And, I look at a car, right? A car can be 95% put together. Don't put any gas in it. How far do you go? Not very far, right? So we've got to recognize the fact that there are certain things we have to do. So we were kind of kidding around, but I was serious. And I said, Bryan, the bottom line is people just have to pick up the phone. So all these tools are available to us to simplify that process. I'm a firm believer of, if I don't need to make each individual presentation, I can do 10, 20, 30, 40 of these a day, because I can just say, are you in front of your computer? And I can say that many, many times throughout the day, drive people to the information. Now you say, okay, well, who do I call first? Well, here's how the list will prioritize itself. Probably 20 to 25% of the people you say that to, or you in front of your computer, are going to call you back. So you don't have to prioritize them. They already prioritize themselves. They called you back. Guess who you talk to first? Clearly, those people. And you bring those people into our system. You bring them through the follow-up. You help them understand what we do. You get them an FEG code number, and you bring them to the Sprint Award, and you go through that process. And then you just repeat that with every new person you bring on or they bring on. Secondly, from those people that don't call you back, those are the people you're going to follow up with. So you're going to keep a running total of the people that you need to follow up with. And, the follow-up is just like, hey, Bryan, hey, listen, we talked the other day, I know you watched the video. Now, why can I say that, folks? Because I took him there and heard the video play. I didn't send him a link, because if I send a link, what do I have to say next? I've got to call Bryan and say, Bryan, did you get a chance to watch the video? And he, of course, will say no, and I'm going to be chasing my tail, right? But if I say, Bryan, I know you watched the video the other day. What did you like best about what you saw? And then I let him talk. Well, it's about, whatever it is. I mean, you all know the answers to the questions. Trust me, you do. And if you don't, your trainer knows, do a three-way call. But my point is, that's what the follow-up should be. It can only be that if you took them to the information, heard the video play, and said, call me later. So I can't tell you how many people mess that up. And they think that, well, I didn't do that, but I just said, when you have time, go to this website, freedombuilderinfo.com. Not the same thing. Well, I emailed them, not the same thing. I text them, not the same thing. Okay? And I don't mean to be beating a dead horse here, but look, Vince Lombardi stands up at a football training camp and said, this is a football. What I'm trying to tell you is, this is a football. Are you in front of your computer? That's the way to do this, and that's going to be the most efficient use of your time. And I promise you, if you'll do that 3 times a day, 5 days a week, that's 15 people a week that are going to hear our story, that are going to hear your story. That's 15 presentations. You got to believe that you're going to build a business if you do that, because that's 15 people that are hearing what we do and how we do it. So I think when you pull it all together, and it all starts with, as I said, it starts with the sprint award. You sprinted. If you didn't sprint, sprint again. Do it anyway, okay? Put your list together. And the reason why a list is important, I've got a list in front of me all the time, because you know what? When I sit down to start making some phone calls or get on my computer, that list is right in front of my face. I see it all the time, and it prompts me to call or follow up. Of course, I use my Outlook calendar. If I spoke to you today and I need to follow up on Monday, there's a reminder in my calendar for Monday. It doesn't matter what system you use as far as that goes, but it is important that you have a blueprint in front of you to follow. So when you decide to spend some time on your business that day, for those of you that are part-time, you say, okay, I've got a couple hours Monday night, I want to apply myself to my business. Well, now you have that done already, and you can sit there and actually be productive and get some things done. So if anything, you're going to hear me constantly preach about efficiency and about you not having to be a financial guru or a genius. You will learn the business and the financial side of it, and the more you do this, the more confidence you'll get. Confidence leads to making money. Making money leads to wealth, needless to say. And I'll wrap it up by saying one other thing here. I had a conversation with Rick Panis, and we happen to be talking about Vegas. Now, Vegas is long gone, but we got a chance to spend some time together, and I think this is where the face-to-face comes in handy when we talk about having once-a-month meetings or a regional meeting, or when the company puts on a meeting. Rick said to me, Al, the number one thing that I got out of Vegas was my confidence level grew another level. When I saw 500 people in the room and I saw the excitement, of course all the training was great, but my confidence level coming out of Vegas is far greater than it was before. And you know what? His activity shows that. See, that's what it's all about, folks. This is not psychology 101 here, but look, if you feel good, you do good. I can't tell you how many people I talk to that say, when I exercise, I feel better. When I go to church, I feel better. When I drink water, I feel better. Whatever. In other words, whatever it is, their psychology is making them feel better, and therefore they're more productive. Well, folks, add a discipline to that. Add this to your thought pattern. When I show 3 people by calling and saying, are you in front of your computer, I feel better. When I get my 3 done, I feel better. So what would I do? What would I give you a call to action? Here's what I would encourage you to do. Your first opportunity of the day, of course you don't want to do this at 6 in the morning, but if you're full-time with us, your first opportunity of the day, you get up in the morning, you do what you do, you get on the rise and shine, you get yourself ready, whatever it is, at 9 o'clock, get your 3 calls out of the way, or you in front of your computer. Get it out of the way. You know what? You'll feel better. And when you're done with that at 9:15 or 9:20, go about your day. If you don't want to call anymore, you don't have to call anymore, but just do Tuesday morning, you got to get up and do it again. Do the same thing. Get your 3 out of the way. And here's what's going to happen to you if you start doing 3 a day. You're going to start having 4 and 5 and 6 recruits coming on board a week. You're going to have 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 applications that you have to do a week. And that, as we know, is a great problem to have, right? Meaning you're going to be busy and your business is going to be exploding. So I don't want to make it any more complicated than that. It's very, very simple. Just follow that track and don't get bored with it. Don't try to make it more professional. Don't try to make it more sophisticated. There's some real solid message here in simplifying to multiply. And if there's anything we do more than anything is try to keep it simple so that you can grow your business. So with that, Bryan, I will turn it back to you, my friend.
Thanks, buddy. Great job. Appreciate that. I just want to open up the call here, and before I do, I would say that when Al's talking or when you're on whether it's a training seminar or webinar, my recommendation is not to multitask. Check your email, your Facebook. I know it's very tempting to do that. Have your notebook out. Get focused in on the words and what he's saying. I think sometimes people think, well, that's really simple. I don't need to focus on it, but you really do. In order to, when you're out there actually doing it, becomes a different thing. So what I'd like to do as we go to close this out is I wanted to open it up and hear back from you guys. For background noise, *6 to mute yourself and *6 to unmute.
You are now unmuted.
Really great session, guys. Really. Rick, congratulations on all your business that you're attempting to get into and do, and you're going to jump in right in with both feet, and that's great. It was an exciting convention, and next time everybody should be there. We'll all get rejuvenated by each other.
Speak up.
Hey guys, this is Rick Panis up in Massachusetts. I just want to thank you guys for this training. Every time I go on a training, I learn something new, and it just makes my confidence grow that I'm with the right team. And this website, I think, is going to be a tremendous tool for us to use to gain more recruits and more business. I just want to thank you guys for your efforts, that you guys are always working to make this easier. It's not simple, but you guys are making it simpler for us to be able to build a big business. Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks, Rick.
You're welcome, buddy.
Anybody else want to share something? Talk for a minute. Other VPs we've got on here, Dominic Bonanno. We appreciate everyone being on the call. Great call. Thank you, Al. Thanks, everyone, for being on. Have a wonderful day. Go make your list.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Bryan.